Hey guys, it's Kara from the Wildwood Homestead, and it's time for a garden tour. Okay, so I actually shot a video last week of the porch garden and the bottom garden. It was around the 4th, it was on Saturday, but well, I just didn't get to it. I kind of took a little vacay and took a break from doing videos and social and all that kind of stuff. But then some rain came in, the suns came in, and there's so much more growth that I just felt kind of silly putting out 2 different videos when they didn't really match. So I'm going to try it today, and we're going to get it done so you can be updated. There's been a lot of growth, even in just, 4 days, because it's the 4th. It's totally different. So I may compare the two, but probably not. I'll probably just give you the tour. And it's early in the morning because it's gotten super hot. So about 9 o'clock you have to quit. The sun's up. You can't do anything. It's so steamy hot. It's so humid. Wow, that was a struggle. It's early in the morning. So it's so humid that you're drenched. Like you're sweating so bad that your clothes are wet. And I'm in a long sleeve, but that's because the squash has gotten so big, and the cucumbers, that if you've ever messed with squash or cucumber, you know that when you're doing that, like, it kind of has these little pricklies on it, and it's very irritating to your skin. So I'm in my overalls. They're long and yet airy, and this long sleeve just for that. But it's still kind of cool out here, so it's not too bad. All right, so let's get started on this cool tour. Alright, well, as you can see, the spaghetti squash is going crazy, and I think I made a mistake last week, and I pulled 2 way too soon thinking they were Odessa squash, but I think I was completely wrong about that. I lost my tag on that side on the garden that it was in, so I wasn't quite sure because I didn't think it was the right color, and now I'm pretty positive I picked those way too soon. I have several that are growing up the trellises there. Squash bugs have been a battle this week, not gonna lie. I've been in here over and over again, taking care of those, getting rid of them. So the yellow squash is kind of an iffy right now all over the garden and even on the porch. I guess they heard me threaten to pull them up, and I did. I was like, I'm gonna pull them up if they don't do good. They're not even supposed to be growing really well in July anyway here, and they started to produce again. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go out there and threaten all my plants that they're going to grow better. But as you can see, I'm just loaded with spaghetti squash, which is really awesome because we have a new project that we got the go-ahead for yesterday. Actually, as a matter of fact, that is going to be neat. That will hopefully help me store all these spaghetti squash. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm going to flip this one over just so it can hopefully get pollinated better. Beans are doing really good. I got a harvest off of the bed, the very last bed, a couple of days ago. Beans, I need to do that again. Oh, which reminds me, I didn't bring my basket. I meant to bring my basket. I brought my tote and forgot my basket. But like I said, the spaghetti squash is going crazy. We've been getting cow peas a little bit at a time. I finally have enough to cook with a ham bone that I've been saving that my mom gave me. So excited about that. That's what we're going to do tonight for supper. Pretty positive on that one. Pumpkins are doing pretty good. See if I can find down there. They haven't turned yet. They're still green, which is fine with me because I want them to grow a little bit more. Have a squash over there I have to get. Like, so the yellow squash, like I said, heard me threatening it, and it's like, no. I got lima beans coming. Can you see that? So they're all through here. Lima beans. And then this is going to be planted in green beans now. It's time for it. Oh, it looks like that pumpkin's turning a little, guys. Look. Get some orange there. And cucumbers have been rocking it. Carlin came out here actually late yesterday afternoon, picked some. And they're still growing with all that rain coming in. As you can see, I have several tomatoes missing. We've been pulling those as they look blighty and bad. But I'm going to show you on the porch. We may have a revival of tomatoes. We'll see. Here's the butternuts. They are also looking like they're going to do well this year. So I have one there. I have one over there. So they're coming up. Looks like they're getting pollinated. I did a video on squash. So butternut's a squash, pumpkin's a squash, zucchini, yellowneck, scallops, all those are squashes. So look for that video, and I'm going to discuss squashes and the differences and kind of how they grow. Here is my loofah. It's budding. It's got flowers on it. It also works. It's a gourd technically. So they may or may not. You got the male flowers and you got the female flowers, and I see some males, but I don't see any female flowers going up. But it's been doing really well. Wow, the cucumbers are just crazy. I'm telling you, once they get started, they are just everywhere. I've been relishing. I've been cucumber relishing. I've just been canning, doing stuff like that. So I should have a lot of scallops coming. See, that's another scallop. And you see all of those flowers. And you see some scallops on there. The bees are out. They just come in a vengeance, you know, or they're just so hungry after all those rains. And they're in and out. They're my buddies. All those scallop squashes are coming. Looks like they're getting fertilized, so that's great. Or pollinated, not fertilized, pollinated. That tomato's been looking bad, so I'm probably gonna end up pulling in. And we knew that this is the bottom garden has not done well with tomatoes in several of the beds, so that was expected. Beans, they have not picked any of these beans yet, but they were planted later than the other ones. The pumpkin squash is kind of going crazy, or the pumpkins, not pumpkin squash. I'm just gonna let them go through the bed, and I think that'd be cool to just walk through pumpkins, so I'm okay with that. We have some scallop squash right here that's doing really well. So see if I can see it through here. Yep. So we're gonna get a nice size on that, so that's great. More cowpeas. Just trying to see. Yep, more. See, I thought this was a Odessa, because I was positive I planted some, and I think I did out here, and I don't know where they are, but this is, I'm thinking this is not. This has got to be a spaghetti squash. And we do have tomatoes coming. They're doing well in some spots, just not well in other spots. So, and there is one that did not get pollinated, so we'll talk about that in the video that you'll see. That one's not going to make it, just needs to be cut off. And that's okay, you're going to lose some that way. It's not going to hurt you, it's fine. Alright. More tomatoes. Over here is a zucchini. If it does not perform well this week, it will go. It is hot for zucchini right now, really here. Surprised it lasted. I had bell peppers coming, tons of bell peppers. Of course, those are those bell peppers that I had to buy from the feed store, because, you know, none of mine came up, but they have done excellent. I don't know if you can see all of them. They've just been growing. They're huge. So there's a really big one back there. I can't get the camera to work. Down there. So they are doing great. Very excited for that. Hopefully they'll be ready at the time of salsa. Here's another zucchini. Same issue. If it doesn't start performing better, it will go. I have plenty I can plant in its place, especially in August. And then the daylilies, of course, they're going out a little bit at a time. Go through and deadhead those. I did take out a squash over here. It was infested with squash bugs, like just all of a sudden. I knew it was acting funny and weak, and the squash bugs know that. They know when something's weak, and so I pulled it up and I stuffed it in a feed sack, and wrapped it up and put it in the burn pile because I don't want those bugs. And I came back and got rid of all the bugs I could find through there. The beans are needing another picking, so I gathered and put up from this group of beans and the porch beans probably Monday. I'm going to say Monday or Sunday night. So I picked those peppers. Let me show you a picture of what I don't know why I came through here and gathered, and I gathered a lot without recording it. So I'm going to slide in a picture right here of what I gathered, and then come back and everything else is growing, you know, more. So I need to support this poor pepper better. It's the one that had the really super huge peppers growing on it. And then we have banana peppers. And then this squash was doing really good. I've had several off of it. And if it keeps producing like that, it'll stay. I have a pepper that didn't make it, came off for some reason. But I don't know if this squash is going to make it. With all the rain and stuff, those are just kind of iffy. Iffy. Rain can make a difference, guys. Like rain, sunshine makes a difference. There's the tomatoes. They're doing good. Tomatoes on this side are doing good too. So hopefully that rain will keep going and produce. Once they get started, they just really produce really well. So more cowpeas. And then this is a different type of tomato. Their leaves naturally droop. But I've been watching this one. I think I'm going to pull this one. And that one didn't make it, pulling that one. But the sad part about it is if that one didn't make it, more than likely these aren't going to make it in the end. And it's very aggravating, especially when, you know, tomatoes are a big deal because we're going to do salsa and all that good stuff. And if I don't have them, then I'm going to have to go find a farmer or a farmer's market to do them. And it is aggravating, and that's a reality of gardening. Sometimes you can work really hard on something, you can try to prevent it, and you baby the plants and everything, and it still doesn't turn out. And you just have to adjust. Not everything in gardening is perfect. These plants, some of them were acting sad, and that is pure because I got way too much water. But I have one that's like, he's like, I will survive back there, and he's been doing great. And like about 3 of them have been doing good, and the other ones haven't. I was experimenting, hoping they would catch up with those guys over there, but they haven't. So they're probably going to get pulled today too. We have been slowly gathering strawberries. The kids are sick of strawberries, so I've been freezing them, hoping to get enough to make a jam, at least one set of jam, and do that. So a little bit more tomatoes. Here's 2 their side too. So the plight of living somewhere where it's humid. No blueberries. That's it, guys. That's the bottom. It's just, right now, it's just picking every day, kind of putting it up. A lot of these things you can freeze in small batches if you're not getting huge batches. Oh, I found a cool way to store spaghetti. Not spaghetti, daggum, I'm thinking spaghetti squash. To store zucchini. I'm excited about it, and I'm going to shoot a little quick tip about that and do another video because we're sick of squash and zucchini. And I looked up in one of my almanacs, like, okay, there's got to be something else that I can do with this zucchini, and I found it. It's pretty cool, and it's so simple, it'll blow your mind. So I'm going to show you that. But okay, well, let's get up to the patio garden. You see, I ended up getting a pretty good crop here. So these, I actually missed this bush last week, so they're very big. I don't really like them this big. I'd rather pick them tender. And beans are one of those things that as you pick them, if you keep picking them, they just keep producing. So I'd rather pick them this size than this size, okay? Because they're just going to keep producing. And these are more tender when you cook them. Now, this is a great snacking bean. I don't spray in my garden, so I can just eat it like this and it's good. I've also been gathering cowpeas a little bit at a time. Like I said, it's time for that ham. And if we get some extra, we'll just probably freeze these as they come in. But eventually we will get some, big crops. And I was just reminded that, the ants love cowpeas. I don't know why, but I think it's because they harvest aphids off of them and they kind of farm them, as what they're called. Like, it's almost like they tell the aphids what to do, and they go in through the cowpeas. They don't seem to do it on the other plants, but something about cowpeas. And I was just bitten on the finger, and it reminded me, oh yeah, I gotta watch for ants on the cowpeas. So just a little tip there. So obviously was not prepared to go out to the garden. I feel like Farmer Joe for real in my little pocket. My caddy's full of beans. My iced coffee. So, but we've been doing lots on the homestead. So here's a couple of videos of things that have happened or that we're doing. Ooh, that sun got real bright, didn't it? That we're doing just to let you know while we're headed up to the garden. So I've actually got a nice crop of cucumbers, and relish is a big deal for us because we make a lot of chicken salad and a lot of tuna salad. But I wanted to show you what I was going to do with it. So I love using older cucumbers for relish because that way I can use the edges, and then the insides, they're too gooey for it. This is all going to the quail and the older chicks, so they are going to love this, especially this part and eating the seeds. So all this is going to go to them. And so we're making compost and chicken deliveries.
Where is it?
Right there, baby. So somebody left a container, I see. So that's not okay. Kind of got a mess here. So much going on. Uh-oh, what's wrong with y'all? What is going on? Are y'all fussing or something? Got more looking.
I think you can boil that liquid.
Now they have liquid.
Yeah.
It's the water, and they absorb it through the plant. It goes up through the vine of the plant into the leaves and the fruit. So the cucumber is like the fruit, the vegetable off of the plant.
Like it. Maybe the water goes into the cucumber, make it grow and get the inside wet.
It does. Yep, it does. You're right. That's what happens.
But then look on.
You wanna go feed the quail? Let's go feed the quail. I have no idea. That's something we're gonna have to look up, huh? Come on.
Maybe they like dragon apply.
Maybe.
Maybe they have long wing like dragon.
Maybe.
That's something.
Okay, help.
Can I put something in there?
Well, let's walk it down towards their food so it's next to their water. We don't want them getting used to coming really close to the door for the food because we don't need them flying out.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't put your shoes on, did you?
And it's heavy.
Okay, scoot over. I'll do it.
Oh.
Wait, let me in. And shut the door. Okay, let's trade. You want to trade?
Okay.
Alright.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so the quail have been doing really good in the cage. Haven't found any problems besides the snake that one time, but they seem to be enjoying it. Hey, bud. We still have all males, so we are still keeping those, and we have some, well, I don't want to say females because I don't really know what they're going to be, but my mother-in-law has about 50 in an incubator for us, so those will be coming up. And I think this one is like, he parks his stuff right there. He likes to watch out here, and he calls every time that we come up. And so I'm having a really hard time kind of not seeing him as a pet. And that's like not good on a homestead to see all your animals that are for food as pets. So they seem to really like kind of scratching around in different stuff. You can see where we've given them scraps. So these were peppers and cucumbers, and they seem to enjoy that. Their food has stayed dry. So the roof was up here. The food is staying dry. The water's doing good. I actually put the water in on top of a big brick right there because they kept like scratching the shavings in there or the wood chips, and I have to go in there and I have to clean it out. But they still managed to put some of the shavings in there somehow. But their food and the water seems to stay dry over here. This stays dry. This will get, of course, the rest of it. That's the porch up there. Gets moist, but that's okay because, you know, the plants here need that to give them some natural cover. So as soon as our other birds are ready, these will be processed and we will have a nice, easy meat source. So if you haven't heard it in the other videos, chickens are known as the gateway into homesteading because once you raise chickens, you realize that you not only get eggs, but you get fertilizer, you get meat from those birds. But if you're in a small situation like a neighborhood or a smaller homestead and it's just you, I say that quail are the gateway. So I think quail are a great option for someone that's alone, that's just them, or you don't want, or you want something very easy to process, you want something you can get eggs from too. These are a great choice, so definitely consider. Quite a few changes up here and some pretty cool stuff that's going on. I did shoot a little bit of it, like I said, last week that was explaining it, so I may throw that in here as I go through the beds, and you'll see kind of like a fade in and out. But lots of changes, growth, pretty excited about the patio. It was struggling there for a little bit, but I think it's catching up now. So beans in the pots of the tomatoes are doing really good. They're flowering finally. The bees have been visiting them. As you can see, you're going to see bees everywhere. Bees are our friend. And that was my 4th succession. And I actually just got finished planting a 5th succession up here yesterday before it rained. So the cherry tomatoes, they're going to be great. I can't wait for the kids to come out here and pick those. Took them a little while, but they have gotten to it. And we've gotten, there's several that are growing, so that's going to be great. I think there's going to be so many that they probably can't eat them all. I have a zucchini right here I need to pick, but I have saved it for y'all so I can show you how I've been putting them up in an unusual way. And then there's some squash I need to pick right here in the garden beds. And I think they heard me because this is the very bed I was like, if y'all don't produce in the next week and I don't see some growth, y'all are coming out. And then they started to produce. I'm like, well, I just need to fuss at y'all more. Because I really thought I was going to pull this whole bed out and it was going to be tomatoes and I was going to have some awesome like cow panel right there to block heat and light. But I kind of fussed at the beans too. I was like, y'all, that back row, this row, you know, step it up, you're going to go. And then they started to produce too because as you can see, I need to get a harvest off of those. So between what I got down there in the bottom and up here, I'm going to be able to put up another bag of frozen beans. So the family's we're a little tired of eating fresh out, which sounds weird. And it's not that we're tired, we're just tired of eating the same thing because the garden does go in a cycle. And so, you know, how many ways can I do beans and how many ways can I do cucumbers and how many ways can I do squash? So it's an experiment. It's okay. So the zucchini, same thing zucchini. If you don't start, you know, stepping it up, you're going to have to go. So I'm just going to start talking bad to my plants now. All right, so this is something different. Last time you saw this bed, it had carrots in it. The carrots are no more. Oh, let me show you that. Okay, right now I'm going to show you the carrot harvest. Since I'm freezing them, I'm not going to take the skin off. We kind of don't mind the outside skin, so we'll make sure I scrub them real good before I put them in there. And there we go. And I'm going to take these peppers right here and we'll very, very carefully dig a big wide hole, transfer them over to this bed, and that way I can put the tomatoes over here, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that to make sure that they have plenty of depth in there. And that's some transitioning here on the patio along with something new over there that's happening. So like I said in that video, there wasn't enough to bring out I have a huge American pressure canner that the hubby got me for Christmas one year. It's like really good. It's one of the best ones that are made, and it's heavy. It's a big deal, and if I'm going to pressure can, I need to have like big batches of stuff, and there was just not enough to justify bringing out the pressure canner. So I chose to cut and freeze those carrots, and they were good. The kids snacked on them, hubby snacked on them, so now they're ready for soup. Here, this is a way that I'm trying to grow tomatoes here on the porch, and I will show you that right now. Alright, so I'm out here trying to beat the storms that are coming and get all my tomatoes in. So these are the ones that have been sitting here. So trying to get them in here. I put fresh compost up in the bed. I have it up at the top. I've also amended that compost because carrots were in there. It's very, very rooty. And so what I've added is more depth, I'm hoping, so that I could bury my tomatoes more. You can see that. And then I'm going to put the dirt up to here. So that's going to give me all of that root structure to grow tomatoes. And then add a trellis up this way, probably with a cow panel. So stay tuned and we'll see how this works. Alright, and I put beans all in here. So there are beans that are going to be coming up. The peppers got moved over here. They've done great through the transfer. I just dug up huge root systems out of there, put it in here. I refilled this bed completely up. I refilled this bed completely up because here are those tomatoes. And we're going to have height. So you have soil from here all the way to here. Or all the way to here because that's open. So that is, and these have been buried up to their necks. So they were really long and they've been buried up to their necks. So they have all of that for a root system. And then I'm going to put a cow panel or something. I don't know. We kind of talked about we could probably screw some maybe little 2x2s or something on the very end and just run string down it, or just do a cow panel across the 2x2s. So more beans, they need to be picked. This is the third succession right there. The cucumber's gonna go. Cucumber, you're gonna go. We got 2 cucumbers off of this summer gun, and then I guess it rained too much or something. I see one trying to grow over there. We may give you a second chance. And plants do that, guys. Don't just rip them up just because they didn't produce when you thought they should, because it does have to do with weather and all that good stuff. All right, we got lima beans. So the lima beans have been doing really good. They're up there, they're growing, they're getting some pretty good seed pods. So between these and the ones down in the garden, we're going to get a pretty good crop of lima beans. They're just not ready. That's one of those, you have to wait till they're nice and thick and plump. And I don't really think any of these are. You can kind of fit. This one will be. That one is. I'll have to. There we go. Now you can see it. Yeah, this one's feeling pretty plump right there. I'm kind of feeling that one too. Some of them are. So that's good. And of course that's right above the quail cage here. All the water barrels are filled up, so because the rain's been coming, so that's filled up. Now you probably saw this cow panel. I was like, what you got going on? Well, here's the plan, guys. So I have planted a birdhouse gourd. So specifically, they use them for birdhouses. So I have, that's what my tags are, that's what my tags are for here, is that's going to be the birdhouse gourd. And the plan is hopefully it will go up this cowl panel up there. So I've tied it up with string. That was the same thing I was going to do on this other side, where the squash and beans decided that they better, get their act together. So that's going to go there. And then I'm still debating on what to do in the lower half here. I'm waiting on this lettuce to seed. I want this carrot to seed. And I'll show you what I have going on in the other bed. It kind of looks a mess, but it actually is just like plain chaos, pretty much, is what's going on over there. But it is, like I said, July the 8th earlier. It's just going to continue to get hotter here in Mississippi. So humid, so hot. So as much shade as I can provide right through here, where we can maybe prolong some outside time, especially here where we can get some shade, that's great. All the flowering plants are still doing really good, just making sure that they're watered. I did a TikTok on that. If you're in a raised bed or you are in pots, you've got to make sure that your plants are watered. And that, I forgot that was up there. This is not actually a plant. Those were carrot tops, and they were so fluffy and so pretty and so cute that I put them inside the hedgehog, and they were good for about 2 days, and now they got to go to the compost. I took the stopper out of the hedgehog, so I couldn't put water in it, and because I can't find my stopper, of course, and they went down. But I think they would have lasted longer if they had some water. We don't particularly like carrot tops in our salad or anything. All right, and so here is my scallop squash that I planted. It didn't come up, so I put another plant. I put the bee balm over it. I can't remember if it was bee balm or butterfly balm, one of them. But it decided to come back and make a comeback along with a little friend. So I'm just letting it grow. Uh-oh, I bothered it, made it mad. Now it's going to lean over. Well, that's okay. Pollinators will find it. My fox fern's doing good. It keeps growing. I up-potted those, and so they've been doing excellent. This is my Walmart rescue I got for $2. So I'm just having to baby it. It's in the shade where it belongs. Oh, look, guys. Okay, I don't think I told you. I showed you the growth in the salad bed. So this is my experiment. It's July. Can I grow salad? Well, apparently black-seeded Simpson does really good. It's come up, but nothing else has. So, up here, I've talked about it before. It's just a huge experiment this year, and so that's what's happening. But it's still beautiful. I've been having to take the cushions off because the rain has just been so unpredictable, and had to pull the rug up because I just didn't want it to get completely soaked. Oh, I want to talk about my plant pockets. I have missed those in every video for some reason. And I think it's just because of the way I'm walking through here. But these are still important. They're my little happies. And I'm trying to get a good picture of it. I can get it to focus. All right, there we go. So these are plant pockets by Maria Hughes at Lily Pottery. And they are amazing. These are the kind of terracotta color ones. But she also has some new blue ones and teal blue that she's come up with. She even showed me, she's like, do you like them? I was like, of course, my favorite color. They're awesome. And so all the textures that she uses are like these natural type textures that she finds from grasses or pine cones, or she just goes walking through nature and finds textures and then comes back and just experiments on her clay and see how it works and patterns. And this is her garden bell. So I'm going to put a link to her pottery shop, to her website, in the video. She also has bird feeders, different garden bells, rain chains, porch tails, just amazing stuff. Please go check her out. I think you'd be happy with it. These have this bell and the small pocket have been up here for 2 years, and this was a new addition this past spring. So. And then my loofah gourd, of course, it's not growing as great as the one down in the garden, but that was expected because it doesn't have a great root support system. Next year, I'm on the lookout for a huge pot to put on my chandelier so that I can really get some good growth out of these loofahs. Which were planted by my own seed that I saved last year. So, yay! This bed is still producing. So the kale will stay in here for 2 years because I'm looking to get like a broccoli type floret off of it, which is the seed, and it will shoot those up in its second year. So those are going to be a permanent addition. The beans are coming, they're flowering. The cowpeas have not been producing flowers or really anything. Oh, look at that as I speak. Okay, I see one lowly cowpea right there. But I really haven't seen any production out of it, and I am thinking that it's because of a sun issue. It's just not getting enough sun. So that's one of those experiments. This may be too shaded throughout the day, which is probably so because of where it is. But like I said, don't beat yourself up if stuff doesn't work, exactly like you thought it would or you wanted it to. That's part of gardening. That's part of the fun. There's one of my granddaddy longlegs. He's out on the hunt for all my bad bugs. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour and the update and continue to come back to us. I know it was a little long, but it was 2 weeks worth of growth and things that are happening and going on. We have a new project coming up that we just have several different things that are finishing up. So, our chicken permaculture orchard composting chicken run. I gotta come up with some other name for it, but it's coming soon. I haven't forgotten about it. I am gonna show it to you. We're just having to work on it a little bit at a time with the weather and heat and all that good stuff. I mentioned earlier we had the go ahead for another project that's coming up that I'm excited about because it's going to have a dual function as well. And it's going to help us kind of get an area started in the backyard. And, ooh, you're dirty. You got chocolate milk all over you. I'm not showing you. And so just keep coming back, help us out, and subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up, share. Every share helps. Thank you so much for you guys that are sharing. If you want to find more info, you can look below in the description, and there's several different things, ways that you can get connected to us and see more inspiration around the homestead. So thanks, and see you next time.